Let's do it.
There we go. Awesome. Welcome, everybody. We're so happy to see you. I'm Aliza Bloom Robinson. I think I've met almost all of you, just met Doug. So great to meet you. And I am here with Jane. Jane is my expert go-to person, and she's like at 11 p.m. in London or something, outside of London. So it's
dark outside.
But I'm just so grateful that you're here. Yeah, wake up.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to do this evening is just bring, most of you are relatively new into levels of my team, but I wanted to bring Jane in, and we're just going to touch on some tips and some tricks and some practices and some basics so that you can utilize and make best use of your Healy in the best possible manner. And then we're going to open up for Q&A. We've got a handful of questions that have kind of come in. We're going to kind of weave that in through a bit of a presentation. So if, as we're going, you have questions in the chat, and we'll make sure we get there. But we kind of have a bit of a plan as we get started. So Jane, welcome. Why don't you just say hello and introduce yourself? Bob, I'm going to mute you because you're a little backgroundy noise. I think Bob's at work too, so we might not be able to see Bob either, but
yeah, okay. Well,
I'll unmute you when we need to.
Yeah, I'm really glad that Bob's made it. And all of you, actually, this is the first time that I'm really getting a chance to meet everybody. And I have spent 20 years in IT, and I enjoyed IT, and I had a great time, and I learned an awful lot. But during that time, I began to also 12 years ago explore healing modalities and energy work and that type of thing. And so I ended up being this kind of split personality. You know, I was okay at my job in IT, and it earned me a lot of money, and I had some really cool friends and things. And then, but it was hard work, it was long hours, and it just wasn't heart-led. You know, it just was not this. I couldn't combine my passions with the day job. And then I got involved with essential oils, which was a first step. But I've always been involved in social marketing, network marketing, whatever you want to call it, because I'm passionate about that, because I love the fact that we help each other, we help ourselves, we help each other, we help ourselves. And is that sharing and caring, you know, like we're doing tonight, coming together. And then nearly a year ago, in May, my friend phoned me, and she told me about Healy, and it was just like all those jigsaw pieces just fell together into place. This future technology I believed in. I believed sound, frequency, vibration. I believed that in the future we'll never have to operate on people. The whole big pharma thing will just crumble away, because as vibrational beings we will be connecting with that. And lots of people are on the planet today, and lots of people aren't. And this was this bridge. And so that, in a nutshell, was my introduction to Healy, and it was a no-brainer. I just had to be involved and get the loud hailer out, not letting everybody know. So that's how I view myself. I'm sharing and letting people know the technology exists. I'm not selling to people, and I'm not pestering people with something that I think's ace. I'm sharing, and if that person gets the vision, fantastic. If they don't get the vision, at least they know that this technology is here right now. And that's really super important. That's a huge, deeper message that we're sending out to the world, really. And yeah, so that's me. That's my passion. I'm also committed. I'm very committed to this, So, and I know that Aliza is as well. So I'm here to also share that commitment with you guys for support, for anything that you want to do. If you want to have a meeting with people that you're inviting, we will be here, because this is a big message and it's an important one. So yeah.
Thanks, Jane. And I, on the other hand, was adamantly opposed and resistant, and like to the point of not interested if there was anything around network marketing or member to member marketing. I was like, no. And yet I found the Healy, and the Healy found me. And my first introduction was like, oh no, my first introduction was like, oh, curious. And I was like, oh no, I don't need a gadget. And then it was like, oh yeah, I'm interested. Oh no, I'm not spending money. Oh yeah. So I was back and forth with it. But I bought one only for my own use. And then about 2.5 seconds later, I'm like, oh, I'm all in. And in part because of Jane and the rest of our team. But I've been playing with frequencies in the quantum realm and subconscious healing and all kinds of things, energy, for pretty much my whole career at different areas and arenas and backgrounds. So this was a perfect fit for me. But what I thought we would do is I wanted to just share my back office and just go through a couple of basics. Some of you, I did a really good job in showing you how to get into your back office. Others of you, I said, oh, let me handle it for you, which is not best practices. So I'm going to show it to you now. All right, I'm going to share my screen here. And of course, this is my back office, so it does have, personal information a little bit on it. So don't pay any attention to any of the details you may or may not see on it. But when you log into your back office, there's 2 menu bars, and the first one is on the left side, and you've got my dashboard, my organization, my customers, commission, payout reports, tools. Tools, Academy are super important when you get started, because that's where a lot of your information is going to come. The tools has downloads and links. Downloads is where all the flyers are, lots and lots of downloads. I'm going to just open up that for a moment. Again, it's just kind of an overview, because I just want you to be able to get back into your back office and start looking around and playing around with it. Best way to search in downloads is to put your language in here, because there's lots of language. So English USA, not English, but English USA will narrow your search down quite a bit. Otherwise, you've got German and Dutch, and I don't even know what all kinds of languages in there. So play around in here, open it up, look at the different flyers. Almost all of these are PDFs. And then when you go back over here to my Academy, oh yeah, Jane, go ahead.
Yeah, just one thing to point out in the flyers, in the download section.
Yeah, let me go back.
Yeah, is the Healy manual is in there.
Yes.
And it's fab. It's recently been all updated, and so I would really recommend that you download that and check it out or print it off. Can you see?
Here's a quick start manual. I'm not seeing the one.
Oh.
You got the flyer. I'm on, maybe I have, oh, I'm on there's another page, I think. Let me see if I can get to it. I have to move you all around.
Yeah, it's definitely in there. It's definitely in there. And the other flyer that's good to have a look at and share with people that who may have recently joined is the Fast Start flyer, because that's our 30-day promotion for anybody joining as a member in the first 30 days. And if you share with 3 people and they purchase, then you get an instant upgrade to the next level, above the next edition, above what you personally purchased.
And we have a couple people here who are working on that.
Oh, brilliant.
Well, Gwen's already done it, actually. And Christy, who isn't here tonight, is working on that as well.
Oh, congratulations, Gwen. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well done.
So I wanted to just show you, I didn't actually find it, but I didn't want to take the time right now.
Yeah, I'll find it, no problem.
Yeah. So also in the left column, my academy, when you click on that, my Healy Academy, product know-how, business tools, and personal development, you really want to get to know this product know-how. This is going to have how to download, how to set up, how to all kinds of different things. And they're adding new videos all the time. Almost all of them are fairly short. Some of them are a little bit longer, but get into here and watch these because it will help. It'll make a big difference. Also in business tools, if you're wanting to build a business with Healy, this is a good place to go to get started. So you've got the presentations, the leaders, if you want to know about it, direct selling, compensation plan, business opportunity, ethics and compliance. So there's lots. I mean, keep playing in here. Once you start selling, you'll want to go to my payouts. You'll want to set up your iPayouts. If you need help doing that, we're happy to help you. I'm not going to spend time on it tonight, but know that that's coming. And then your organization is an important tab. It's the second one down. And this will show you, this is where I've got lots of names and emails. So you don't want to look at who's in here necessarily, but everybody that you've sold to is on here. And you can look at the dates and what program they bought and the purchase date and the placement. So underneath my organization, what you'll want to know is how to register new partners. So before you sell a Healy, if you're going to sell a Healy to person as a member instead of a customer, you'll want to walk through this step, register new partners, and then unplaced partners. You want to make sure that they get placed before you actually purchase for them. Jane, do you want to add to that at all?
No, it's perfect.
Okay.
That's perfect.
Once you register a new partner and you place a new partner, it's pretty self-explanatory, but we also have documents because there's a couple little, weird little click marks. So first time you do it, second time you do it, have one of us with you and we'll walk you through it. And then it becomes pretty intuitive, but there's a couple of little clicky places you want to be sure that you get. And then you can go up, you actually have them open their back office, or you can open their back office. I'm not sure that's best practices, but it is my most common practice because it's the quickest. And then on the top, you go to shop, and this will put you in your shop. When you're in your back office, you've got your name up here. When you go to shop, you'll want to have the person you just registered in the top left, and your name will be in the top right. Let me just go over to the shop. I'll show you that real quick. Here's my name up here, Rev Aliza. That means that that's the sponsor. That's who I'm selling. This name would change. So it would be, like Glory or Jerry, or whoever I'm buying from. And then it's pretty self-explanatory. But again, the first time you do it, go ahead and ask for support. Let us help you, because one of our biggest commitments is duplication. And that's something I knew nothing about when I started this. I just wanted to just go do it the way I wanted to do it. And I made a few messes, I'll tell you that. But once we started working as a team on creating systems and creating duplicatable processes, everything goes much smoother. And the reason for that is I want to teach you best practices so that you teach your people best practices, and it keeps it simple, and then nobody has to go into overwhelm. All right, I wanted to just talk just a couple things, couple of you, Gloria will be right back. Maybe she's back already. I wanted to talk just a little bit about what we call the two different apps, the pink dot and the blue dot. I think all of you except for Tim have your devices. Bob is a blue dot user. I think everybody else is or will be Resonance users. So the pink dot is the microcurrents. Jane, do you want to talk about the difference between them while I open up my pink dot so I can show them a couple things?
Yeah, sure. I'll just put you on full screen view here. So the Pink Dot app supports the Healy Gold, Healy Health, Healy Health Plus, and with the resonance, you get the Pink Dot app as part of the whole package. And what the Pink Dot app does is it supplies your actual physical microcurrents. So they're called frequency specific microcurrents. So this gives us the facility to actually put physical microcurrents, which are super, super fine for the body, through one wrist, and it goes through the body and out the other wrist. So it's creating a closed loop system within our physical bodies. And so sometimes physicality is quite important, and it can be important to people who've got chronic ailments, brain injuries and this kind of thing, or fibromyalgia type of chronic ailments. However, in mentioning those two, we are working with a wellness device. We're not working with a device that, oh, what are all these ailments and does it fix all these ailments? We're working on improving the frequency of the body so that in itself it comes back into homeostasis. Sorry, I'm doing that. I'm doing that because energy spirals, so that's why I'm waving my hands around. And that brings us back into homeostasis, back into, as I'm sure many of you know, the coherence, which is what we're aiming for. And it's phenomenal also with, so that allows you to access whatever programs you have purchased with your particular edition. And so those programs are singular. So they have their main headings. Gold, for example, is a main heading for a set of 7 programs. And those run individually for however long. So you'll get 50 minutes, 90 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever. So you get a set time. There we have it. Yeah. These are amazing. These are not to be underestimated at all. They are super powerful, and they are actually they're the start point. They're the stepping stone. They begin to condition your body to receive frequencies. Because unless you're really used to receiving frequencies, your body isn't used to receiving frequencies. And so just running the pure or being or relax or care, absolutely fantastic. These are also wonderful for your pets as well, because, and I'm assuming some of you know this and some of you may not know this, but when you go into a program on the Pink Dot app, you have those percentage, you have the plus and minus at the bottom. So yeah, here we go, you can see here. And I'll talk about the sweet spot in a minute, but when you can actually take that percentage right up to 100%, you can take the cables out of the Healy, and this has now created a cloud around itself of around 2.5 feet. So this is what I do. My mother has atrial fibrillation, so I don't want her to put the wristbands on. So what we do is we take that up to 100% and we just clip the Healy onto her t-shirt, and she's then receiving the frequencies from the sensor within the Healy that's then expanded its field. And that's why I mentioned pets, because you could turn this up, put it on the sofa near or next to your pet, and they will benefit also. But they have to be able to walk away. So don't sellotape it to his neck or his forehead or something, because otherwise, you know, they're very sensitive. We do have a pet program that's out specifically for pets. So that's terrific to have a look at, especially if you know veterinarians or cat lovers, dog lovers, people who have horses, all that good stuff is fantastic.
And I would just say that I run my pink dot without the cables more often than I use the cables, but I can't get it to 100. 50 is fine, once in a while 60, because I feel it so strongly. So, so I don't go to 100, but you can. Don't go to 100 if you've got the cables on. That's more like go to 25, 30, maybe 40, depending on your system. Don't do 100 that way.
Yeah, it's not necessary to feel anything. It really isn't. That's not the objective, to feel. If you have the cables in, we're just aiming for a white line as the little thing goes round. And I'm usually 25, sometimes 30, and it will vary depending on the program as well. So this is the beginning of a conversation that you're having with Healy and your body. And if you think of it that way, then you're working with the Healy all the time. And always setting your intention, always, always, always at the beginning. And even like a general umbrella intention. What are my health goals? Where do I see my health in 6 months' time, 12 months' time? Because we're now talking with the universe. You are working with the Healy field, and believe me, it is a field with a consciousness of its own. And that now is for us to be able to have that conversation. You're all nodding. I love that, because you all know what I'm saying, don't you?
You almost mentioned the sweet spot. Do you want to speak into that? And I know
yes.
Getting some gray lines on his pain program.
Yeah.
You could speak into that too, because that's coming.
Yeah. So you've switched your Healy on, you've put your cables on. I'll just talk about using the wristbands most directly. And you've chosen your program, and you've got the circle going round, and it's at 15%. Yeah, perfect. So what I do is I put it up to 20% and I wait. And I give it 30 seconds. And I see if that turns white, and if it doesn't, then I just tap up 5 more %. So this is what I talk about, just waiting and being prepared to have this conversation with the Healy. And I often find that at 25%, it's black, then it's a bit white, then it's a bit black, then it's a bit white, which is okay, because sometimes it's it may be getting connection, but it's working through something in the body. However, if I then pop it up to 30%, I then get a full white thing going on. And lots of water, lots of hydration, having water whilst you're using your programs. And if you do struggle to get that continuous, then you need to wet the wrists, or get some kitchen towel. I don't know, what do you call it, kitchen towel? The sheets, the paper sheets.
Paper towels, we call paper towels.
Paper towels, and
yeah.
You can wet those and put that underneath the wristband as well, because the wristband needs to be snug, not loose, but not super tight. So,
and just we've said this, but it's a common question. If you do not have your wristbands plugged, if you do not have your cables plugged in, your line is going to be black.
Yeah.
Your line will be black if you don't have cables. It's still running and moving. And the other question I get a lot is, once it's running, once it's moving, you can actually turn your app off because it's running inside your Healy device. You do not need to keep the app on. What you will lose is the ability to change your percentage, and you will lose your timer, but you're still getting the frequencies. So I most often turn my app off for 2 reasons. 1, I don't like to be tied to my phone more than I am. And 2, it tends to drain my phone battery. So I just turn it off, and I walk away and I wear this around.
Yeah. And if you are turning it up to 100%, you can then inform water. So you can put this next to your water and you'll be sending the frequencies of that program into the water, which is very cool.
Yes. So do you know, because I've seen quite a few, or I've seen some, including Bob, on the pain cycle, it's now coming up as a gray line. Do you have any information on that, Jane?
I don't on the gray line, no. But
and he said he's tried everything. The water, the oil, because I'll use coconut oil sometimes.
Oh yes, yeah. And there's gel, there's electrolyte
gels
you can get as well.
Yeah.
No, I'll find out about the gray line. Yeah.
I was doing searching in the some of the telegrams and things, and some people are going, oh yeah, the pain's gray now. And I'm like, well, anyway, so we're still looking at that. But I told Bob,
no, I'll find out.
Yeah. You know, especially if he's feeling it, keep running it, keep working with it.
So Bob's feeling this, he's feeling the tingles. He's feeling.
Bob, are you in a place where you can speak, Bob? I know you're at work. We'll give him a second and answer that question because that was a specific one.
Oh, it's pretty noisy here. I'm trying to stay on mute.
Okay, Bob, no problem.
Okay.
Can you just expand for me that you're going into the pain program? So Aliza, maybe you can answer. Running the program, and instead of it being black or white, it's gray. Is that what you're
Correct.
saying?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Super.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So I know there's probably more questions and specifics, but I want to bump up and spend a little bit of time on the Blue app for those of you who have that, and then really open to other questions, to some basics. So I've switched my app. They are two separate apps. This is not so much probably for those of you who are on the call, but that's been a confusing place. It's a separate app. You have to have your pink app completely closed in order to open your Blue app, and vice versa. And let me let Glory back into the room here. When you open up your Blue app, when you set it up, now I've sent inside your back office is some how-tos, and I've also sent links to I like the ATP page, Jane, just FYI, it's got all the different videos and how-tos. I think all of you, except for Doug, already have that uploaded. Well, no, and Tim, Doug and Tim, but we want to make that as super simple, easy as you can. There's two real keys. One is to make sure your other app is closed, and second is be sure to save your master key. It'll show up, and you'll have the opportunity to save it. Just save it. I don't know why, but save it. I've needed it, and just save it. And the easiest way, or the way I've done it, is to just email it to myself. And the master key is what keeps your Healy to you and the data that you put into it. It sets up a private cloud for just you and your Healy. Healy themselves cannot get into our own clouds. It's like 5 times encrypted, and I don't know all the language about all of that, but it's super safe and secure.
Yeah, it uses 150 blockchain encryption, and so that means that and the master key only comes with the resonance with the blue dot, because it's the only one whereby you can be analyzing your body, and you can work with clients or family members where you're putting their personal data into the app, and so that is encrypted, and that's why you have the master key. So if you lose your phone, for example, you'll then get yourself a new phone, you re-download the app, and so you will need the master key saved to an email folder or somewhere that's not on your phone. It will be automatically saved to the phone at the moment. I've noticed with the resonances, and I think they've improved the downloading and activating process, and you get to a point where halfway through, something flashes up about master key and then it's just done. But then what we'd like to do is go into the settings after you've set up the resonance, go into the cloud settings. We'll show you where all these are, and you will see backup master key. And when you click on that, it gives you the facility to email it to yourself. So I would definitely make sure that you've got it in a couple of places.
So Gwen, that was your question. So it's in setting,
Right.
and then cloud, and then backup master key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine won't let me do it. It says there's an error. I can't even get to that part. So I have to wonder what happened. So again, I've watched so many videos on it. So I guess I'm going to open a ticket and get somebody at Healy to help me. I don't know.
What kind of phone?
Error message.
Is it is it 0112? Can you do me a screenshot of the error message? Go into it.
I don't have my Healy here at the moment, but
No, fine. It's fine anytime. Yeah.
my Healy over to me.
When you get it, go into
No,
that
it's not.
thing and try and do it. And then when you get that error message, just take a screenshot and send it to Aliza.
Okay, I will.
What kind of phone do you have?
Android.
It's Android. It's not the Huawei, the Chinese model, is it? So is it a Samsung or a?
Yes.
Yeah.
Samsung.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, that's fine. Because I came across this just today.
Oh.
And we're going to have a meeting with
That's the new one. Does it say 2 on the back?
Freddie Perez, Aliza.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'd just like to have a screenshot of the same thing.
Okay.
And then we'll note it up to him. And then if he doesn't know what's going on, what will happen is we'll know exactly what to put in the customer services ticket.
Okay.
Because he's now working directly with Healy Technical Services, and so he is also monitoring any common error messages that are coming up across the different types of mobile phone networks that we've got. Do you know they've actually got to manage 850 different devices?
850 telephone systems.
Yeah. It's just like, I just want to phone my friend, you know. Anyway,
and Gloria said she had the same problem too. So we'll get a resolution.
Oh, please. Yeah, because I just
resonance. Meanwhile, your resonance is still working fine. You're using it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So this is just a saving the master key issue. Your phone's working perfectly fine, and you can actually save to the cloud and all of that. You can create clients and everything. So it's not a problem. We'll get it sorted. Yeah.
Yeah. And Gloria's comment, I cannot save my master key because it says the app does not have permissions. I changed my phone.
That's the one. Yep. That's what it
Yeah.
That's the same one you're getting?
Yeah. You do need to make sure that you have got location switched on, storage switched on, connection, contacts switched on, and there's some place where you can find the apps themselves and make sure that they are enabled in the phone side of things. Maybe with the screenshot, if you could say that you have, yes, I have enabled this, that, and the other, just to give us a bit of background.
Okay.
The sooner you can do that to Aliza, the better, because Gillian, she's called Gillian, she's going to be making this appointment like tomorrow or maybe Monday. And if I can then say, well, we've got these other same issues happening.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, good. And Glory, if you can send me screenshots too, that would be great. Yeah.
If they end up specifically to your phone, then we just need to book yourself a slot with Freddie Perez, and he will sort it out for you.
Yeah. And so she says, is there somewhere I can find where it is stored in my phone? Well, I send it by email. I also have saved it to my Google Drive. And yeah. And then if I needed it, because I did need it one day, I kind of went, I don't know how to find it. And then somehow I went and found it. So it was smarter than me. All right.
That's great.
Great. So just a couple of things on the Blue app, and those of you who are using this, yeah, so Jerry too. So you should be able to find it, Jerry, though, in settings, cloud, and then save master key. So in your Blue app, you've got your home button is not the house. I was working with somebody earlier today and I'm like, go home, and just kept hitting the house and I couldn't figure out why. So the home button is really the squiggly line down at the bottom. And this will get you your page that says resonance or aura. And when you run these, it will ask you for, if you haven't put a client in, you put a client in, add new client. Now I'm going to say this and Jane might counter me, but when I add a person in, I just go down to like gender. I don't go any below that for email and address and all of that. I do the top. And my understanding is that this is all a part of identifying us in the quantum field. Right, Jane?
We do need a location. So we do need
down to address.
Or yeah, a country or city. The address section actually isn't very long. So if you had a long address, you wouldn't be able to get it all on there. So it's not necessary it's number 14 Brown Street. You know, it's really that it has your date of birth, it has a picture of you, it has a sorry, I said date of birth, didn't I? But a location. It does actually ask for place of birth as well. But I think the triangulation is location, date of birth, picture. And then you're going to record the vibration as the final thing, which then actually finds your unique signature in the quantum field. Is everybody okay with that? Has everybody created yourself as a client apart from, yeah, so you're comfortable with that?
Jane, this is Glory. Hey, hi. I had a quick question about creating the signature or capturing that frequency. So if I'm doing that, say for my husband, that's one thing. So I'm just kind of having the device there with him and intending that is for him. Does he need to actually like hold the Healy or anything like that? Or is it more just directing it toward him?
If you've got the person with you, then yes, absolutely. They should hold it.
Okay.
Because you've got them physically there, or if it's one of your family. But obviously we're doing it to also send by distance. So then you are, as you've said, you're using your intention. You'd hold it in your right hand, you'd look at that picture and you would say, I am acting as a proxy for this person's frequency.
You only do that once when you set up the client.
Yeah.
Right. So when
Sorry, my screen froze up, sorry.
Oh, there you are. When you are going to run a resonance scan and you click, let me see, you click here where it says continue with database. I need to get one of those where I can get my screen on my screen.
Yeah, me too.
I just wanted to point out a couple of things. Some people, well, not even some people, but there are the top programs, I think there's 7 of them, are like bonus programs, and they are so super cool. They're over and above the Healy program. So it's the bush flowers and the Alaskan gems and the amino acids and the I Ching. Play with those and have fun playing with those. But below the I Ching, the first one that says Healy Gold, and then if you scroll down all the way down to the bottom, you'll find all Healy programs. Now you probably all know this already, but I always start with all Healy programs. And that is going to scan everything that you have on your Pink app. And if you have the resonance, you have every program on your Pink app automatically. And when you scan that, you start analysis, you hold your fingerprint. This is actually not holding it's not reading my fingerprint. It's an indicator it's my intention, holding intention. So you don't have to worry. It's not, you don't have to worry about, I don't have to worry about getting Jane's fingerprint on here, right? And just hold, it's an intention point that triggers the scan. And then it brings up the top 5 programs out of all the Healy programs. It brings up the top 5 packages. And so there's a couple of things that you can do. Like for me, the first one that came up right now is Healy Gold at 81% relevance. We like to run them all. I like to run them all 5 that comes up. So I can go actions. You can show a PDF, and you can actually send a PDF to yourself if you show PDF, and then you can share it with this little share button up here. You can share it, and then you can email it to yourself, or however else your phone is set up where you can share. And those are kind of fun. I don't do that very much anymore, but at the beginning I emailed every single PDF just because I was looking at them and I was learning about them. I was discovering about them, which was kind of cool. So try that, play with that. And then of course your vibrate is the second choice. Default is 1:20. I find that works perfectly in most cases. But if you click where it says 1:20, it gives you other times. Now, when you're running a resonance scan and you're vibrating for yourself or a client, and they're new, I would stick with 1:20. Now, Jane and I do some work together, and sometimes we go like 5 minutes and you know, a little bit longer. If you're running, you know, on your car or your washing machine, feel free to go way long. But less is more on frequencies. You can also run it again, but you don't want to overdo your frequencies. And then when you just hit the vibrate, again, intention, you mentioned intention is everything, Jane. Set your intention before you do it. Set your intention as you do it, especially on these short ones. I love to just, you know, really get centered, do your centering process and sit and open and just really pay attention. More so for me on the blue than the pink, because the pink, I'll start it, I'll put my intention, I'll play with it, and then I'll get busy doing something, which is probably not perfect, but it's how it works for me. You know, I'll go for my walk, or I'll, you know, get on my Zoom call or whatever with some programs running in the background. You want to say something about that, Jane, or about any of that?
Yes, thank you. That was really good, Aliza. Oh, I've got some feedback. Can you hear me okay?
I can, yeah, we can hear you good. I'm going to mute Tim, maybe you had a question, but I'm going to mute you for a minute. Oops, I can't.
Okay, we'll come back to him. Yeah. Oh, we've lost Bob. Yes, so using the resonance and using the resonance with intention. So I have some information, and if you are, so you can use the resonance to analyze yourself. So as Aliza's done, she's gone to all Healy programs, and that is umbrellaing every single program set in the resonance. And you're going to get the top 5. So that is a huge number of frequencies. And it will scroll through those 5. And you can then say to yourself, and I'm talking about this also if you're going to be doing this on somebody else. So how many people would be sending to friends, family, by distance, or clients, for example? Okay, right. So it's super important to, how many of you use intuition or dowsing or asking the universe the questions that you need to? Okay, cool. So the first thing, connecting with the divine self of the person who we're sending to. The second thing is, am I to send frequencies today? So we're starting with the absolute basics. Do I have permission of the divine self of that person? And do I have permission to send frequencies to them? So I'm assuming we're going to be getting yeses to these. Then if you run all Healy programs, you will get 5. So my personal approach is, I get the 5, I write the 5 down. I then say, is it beneficial for me to send this particular set of all 5? Yes, no. I might get a no. But because I've written all the 5 down, I can then go across each of those 5. Am I sending this one? Yes, no. Am I sending that one? Yes, no. I might get 2 out of that 5. And when I get those 2, I then go back into the database, go into that particular one. Just say it's the goal program. I go into the goal program, and then I run the goal program. And I will then say, am I running in the morning? Am I running it at lunchtime? Am I running it at night? So you can also ask about the time of day. If you're sending by distance, and I'm sending to my brother-in-law in Vietnam, my daytime, he's fast asleep. So it could be that that's the best time, and that person would rather receive while they're asleep. So there's a whole different thing of questions that can arise. And then when you get the time frame coming up, you can then say, this is really cool on the intuition, because I just drop into my heart space and I empty my mind, and I'm like the secretary waiting to take a letter. And I just sit there and I just say, and what is the time length I'm supposed, what is the right time frame? And I might get 7 minutes and 14 seconds. And if you look at the very bottom of that list of timeframes, you'll see manual, and you can actually tap on that and you can put in an exact minutes and exact seconds. So if you're finding that something's coming in really clearly and you've got seconds as well, then you do have this. There it is. Yeah, thank you, Aliza. That's where you can go in and do that. So this is another way of having the conversation with the field, and then really allowing the field to give you great detail.
Good to see.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. Yeah. And if you're using the resonance, you know, we mentioned before with the pink dot that you could send the frequency from the app to the Healy. Then you can switch your phone off and, you know, wander around the house and do stuff. But with the resonance, when you're sending, the Healy and the phone do need to be near each other. So it's a small difference. Now, I do know a lady who's a very, very, very long-term healer, and she's using the Healy, and she was sending to a lady who was in a different state in America. She was very, very poorly, and she was asked to send overnight 4 hours. So she set the Healy up with the resonance in a different room and just left it running. So don't be surprised if you do get a message coming through to say 4 hours or whatever. And if that did happen, then that's what you do. You just set it up like that. She was very poorly. The next day, I mean, they were writing her off, actually, to be perfectly honest. The next day she was sitting up, she was eating, she was drinking, laughing, telling jokes, and she's still with us. So something was going right. Yeah.
So I'm just aware that we were going to be about an hour. It's about 10 minutes till. I know Jerry was asking a question about when you're doing distance, how often, how long do you let them set? My practice is I do my family, my daughter, my son, my mother, my sister. I run a resonance program on them every single day. Well, 5 days out of 7. And I just do the first round. Now, these are people who are like, they've given me permission. I'm like, can I do my energy healing? And they're like, oh, whatever, right? So I do. And I run a new scan every day, and I run those top 5s. Now, if I'm working with a client, I'll do it a little bit different, a paying client, as opposed to a family member who's rolling their eyes going, go do your woo-woo stuff on me. I don't even care, right? And if I were working with a paying client and I was seeing that client once a week or once a month or twice a month or however, I would run the scan when we're together, and then I would talk about how those vibrations are already in your field. So I have done it both ways. I have run every single day for the week until I saw that client again, but I decided I didn't have to do that because it's already in the field. So Jane, do you want to speak a little bit into how you're running with clients, how you're doing clients?
Yeah, so that's absolutely true. Especially the first time that you're working with a client, you could send a short amount, or you can, I have sent over Zoom and we've both been on the Zoom. So I personally like to do a little thing which helps us drop into the heart space, you know, go into the zone. So you're trying to get somebody to properly relax and come out of their head and drop into the heart. So they're in a receiving mode, maybe get grounded and anchored, that sort of thing. Super important. And then I will run a program for a short amount of time. I personally like the 2-minute 59 because it's a short amount of time, but it's a long amount of time when you're both sitting there quietly while it's running. It also allows me to do my intuitive work, which has nothing to do with Healy, but if that's part of your practice, it also gives you time, and it gives the field time to speak to you through the various channels that you may have as part of your gift, your healing gifts and that sort of thing. I think that's all I was going to say on that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I run the aura. The aura program is always first. Always first. Always do the aura program first. So you're getting those energy vortices in the best shape they can be. And that's definitely a 2-minute 49 one for me. I run that first.
So do you see, can you see Jerry's comment in the chat?
Oh, sorry, no.
Just a little bit. Oh, I'll read it to you. I'm not working with clients yet. My situation has been working with friends. They had their first experience and I'm uncertain how to proceed with more or not. They're not asking for more yet. I would follow up in a few days, Jerry, and just say, how are you feeling? What did you notice?
Yes, and just going back to that thing about it being in their field. So when you're finishing with somebody, you can say, right, this is in your field now. So 3 times a day for the next 3 days, I want you to call it in. I want you to make that time, sit down, drop into your heart space, ground yourself and say, I would now like to receive the frequencies that were sent to my field for the pain or whatever it may have been. And then that's their commitment. That's their commitment to their healing process as well. And I would very much, I didn't used to do this at first because I hadn't realized the power of it, but that person's healing goal at the beginning is super, super important. So really try and establish that healing intention with them at the beginning. So then they can say, right, you sit down for 3 times a day, the next 3 days, announce your healing goal, even just in your mind or out loud. And that gives them something to anchor around. And I would definitely arrange a little catch-up meeting to just tie that off. And if they don't want anything further, at least you've had a duty of care to get back with them and see how they're doing.
And so often it is, oh, I don't feel anything at all, but I am actually relaxed. That's huge. Yeah. Right. No, I didn't notice anything. Well, and then I always say, well, how do you feel? Really quiet. It's like, is that a normal state of being for you? No.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So I want to honor those of you who are here. I know if there's specific questions, we're really at an hour. I'm okay to go a few extra minutes, but if there's anything specific, there are lots of ways to connect into the Facebook groups, into the Telegram groups. There's some new things coming up. There's a call. It might even be tomorrow about a new Healy coil, which is a cordless technology using the scalar thing.
Oh, wow, yeah.
There's a brand new program that's being given to every single person who owns Healy. It doesn't matter which edition, called the Coherence. And we found a hack about how to get that before you're in line. So I can send that out as well. And I can send out a list of all the different ways to connect. But I just encourage everybody to get in and play, get in your back office, get into the Telegram groups, get into the Facebook groups, and decide what you want. I mean, I should have said this first, decide what you want. If you want to build this business, that's one path. Yeah, we're hackers now, we are. And if you want to just use it for yourself, that's a whole nother path. If there's a crossover, you want to get your fast start, we're here to support you in that. But for right now, any burning questions, like Gwen, do you have burning questions? And Jody, burning questions, Jeanette, anybody, I don't have to name everybody. But.
Yeah, ask away, anything.
Frequency hackers, yeah, that's great, Jane.
Okay.
Yeah, Jody, question.
So Aliza, you said you tend to run at 50% when you're just wearing it, and Jane was saying 100. I personally I'm not feeling anything. I'm choosing to believe it's working because I have it, and I'm just going to do that. But so how would I choose a number?
So if you're wearing the wristbands?
No, if you're not.
If you're not.
Yeah.
Do you use your intuition? Normally, what I would say is, if people don't really feel the frequencies, then go up to 100%, because that's actually generates the cloud. Okay. But I do know some people they've started to do that, and it's got to 50 or something, and they've thought, oh, yeah, they're so subtle, these frequencies, Jody, that you kind of just, so it's a feeling rather than a physical feeling. So just play with that a bit. I mean, for my mum feels absolutely nothing. She's 100% all the time. Okay.
I'm just using the cables now mostly because I'm kind of doing the startup way of doing it.
You are
5-week thing.
You're using the, oh, right. You do.
Yeah, I'm using the cables.
Okay, great. So you're finding the right percentage to get it to go white, is that
right? Although I didn't know about waiting a little, I've just been clicking up until it goes white. So, but mine's like 25 to 30 to make that happen.
That's great. That's great. That's really good. Yeah. I noticed there's a question here about the aura interpretation. This is from whose question is this about the aura? You've been running.
Is that aura in the chat?
It's in the chat. Yeah.
I must have missed it. Was that one of you? One of y'all? Somebody have a question about the aura field? We didn't really talk about that.
It might be my question. I don't even remember what it was now, but I have had questions about how to, because the aura interpretation is so general and broad. Anyway, I think I just want to hear the basics about the aura interpretation. The higher percentage means that's what you need more of the support with. Is that right? So it'd be kind of the reverse of, and also then you have the option to run the negative, to also show the negative. And done that sometimes, and then I've kind of went, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with all this information per
I
se.
can tell you about that. So
And that, let me just say, that's what Jane wanted to talk about today. I said, let's do the basics. So here we are. This is what you wanted to do anyway. Awesome.
yeah, so has everybody run that Aura program generally? Doug? Yes?
He doesn't have it yet.
Oh, I haven't got it yet. Oh,
Yeah.
such a treat. Oh, it's great when you go. Yeah, so you know that you get, the Healy it's got to try and work with the English language that it's been given by probably some German techie person in Berlin. Was that your root chakra is rubbish? You just sort your mother out or whatever, you know. I mean, it is pretty. I read some of them and I think, holy moly, I don't even know what that means. But so what I do is, with every chakra, you will get three readings, don't you? You get 3 cards, just 3 versions of what's going on there. So if I I will be scrolling through and I will read all 3 of them. And I try and look for a thread, something that's been through those 3. And if I'm with the client and I start with this one, and we don't really, you know, maybe it's not resonating or something like that, then we'll read the next 2. And if I read all 3 together, we do find something. So that's just a suggestion for myself. With regards to switching on negative influences, this is super cool, because Marcus Schmeeker on the last Frequency Friday was actually talking about this. And he says, when you switch on negative influences, these are frequency patterns that relate personally to you, that are deep within your subconscious. And if you think of them, he said this, I love this man. He said, think of this as a book in the bookshelf that you have yet to take out and open and read. And when you're reading something that's come up in those aura readings, you may be looking at that thing and thinking, well, you know, yeah, maybe I row with my mum every now and again, but it's not that bad or something. But by literally reading it, you are already collapsing it in the field. It has come into observance, and that's what we're aiming for. We're aiming to become the observer of something that was hidden, something that we didn't know was there. And some of those negative influences can be big percentages. They can be minus 90, minus 80. I've had some belters. I really have. You know, it's like, oh, it's epic. Let's zap that one. And so, yeah, I like to switch that on. I do it most times, actually. And for practitioners like yourself, you should be running the Aura program at least twice a week. The Healy field actually says that will boost your protection as a field, your own field. This will start to bring greater coherence in for you. Oh, so it's really cool. And you know, the next time we meet up and everything, we can talk about how you can put your own customized frequencies into the resonance. Because you use the Aura program to do customized programs, so we can talk about
that. There is a lot. There is a lot here. I would just recommend to play, to go and play and go explore something and then come back with your questions. Jane's brilliant, obviously. And we have a whole team of people that are, and you get into the Facebook groups and the Telegram groups, you can ask your specific questions. But feel free to come to me, come to Gwen, come to Doriana, come to Jane. And
yeah, I've had a reply about the grey line.
Oh, good.
For Bob.
Yeah.
And it's just grey. It's neither black nor white, and it's meant to be that way. So I've messaged Deborah, and Deborah just came back to me. So
Okay. I will pass that along. It was funny to him because it used to be black, and then it was white, and then it was gray. So I just think there's some upgrading.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we'll carry on asking about that then.
We'll keep looking. Mm-hmm.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Is everybody?
Well, I do want to. Oh, go ahead, Jane.
Does everybody know about Aliza? Do people know about Gwen and Maria's calls in?
I don't know. I'm working on getting a document that's got all of the calls, Deborah's and Gwen and Maria's, all in one page, because I've gotten this past few weeks, I've just kind of been overloaded.
Yeah, of course you have. It's not a problem. Deborah's done something. Deborah's done a document. She sent it to you. She sent it to me for us. Yeah,
just now, just before we started. Yeah.
Yeah, and so guys, what we can do is we're just reviewing this document, but it's going to be like a bit like a check sheet, so that you can see that you've jumped on the right Facebook groups. And I'd love to see you all on my Telegram group, because I post a lot of stuff there. And then we also have a Facebook group that we use as a resource center. It's called the Frequency Alchemy Tribe, and those are two sources of regular data. But we're going to get that just teed up and sent out. So
I do want to mention that the sale, if you're on your 30 days, track your 30 days. If you're wanting to get, sell 3 in 30 days to get your free one. And the sale, this amazing, phenomenal sale, actually runs through the end of April. And I'm doing Jane, you don't even know this yet, but I'm doing an informational call for anybody new that you're all welcome to come to, number one, because it's good to listen to them again and again and again, and bring any people that you want to. And that's going to be Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central, which is like middle of the night for Jane.
Exciting.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Yeah. Bye, Jerry. Thanks.
Yeah. Oh, bye.
Bye.
Bye, sweet pea.
Yeah.
So what was I going to say? Yeah. Yes. Just think about how excited you got when you heard about the Healy for the first time. And one thing we don't worry about trying to, I don't worry about trying to remember everything to tell somebody. I invite them to this sort of webinar that Aliza's just talked about, or I join them to the testimonial Facebook pages, of which there are 2. And then I let them either get totally excited or just tell me, well, I'm not bothered. And then you know where they are. So try not to allow your own thoughts, feelings, or judging that person or whatever. Because I can honestly tell you, if Deborah hadn't phoned me back in June and was only phoning me now, I'd be really annoyed with her. For nothing. So yeah, don't allow that flow of excitement, because it's that people, they hear that in your voice and they see it in your demeanor, and they just want some of it. That's what I found anyway. So.
And every time you come, you'll learn more, and every time you use your machine, you'll learn more, and you can't break it and you can't do it wrong, but don't overdo it. You don't, I overdid it when I first got it, and I had a frequency hangover. I'm like, oh, I could.
Yeah, and I know another lady, she's a doctor as well, and she did so many on her boyfriend, he had to go to bed. And then he went into a healing crisis. He had all this stuff coming up about his mother or something. I know we shouldn't be laughing about it, but she zapped him. So don't zap people. It's not beneficial.
I have been sending, this is Tim and Doug who are starting soon, the 5-week by, what's her name, Lisa, the 5-week protocol. That's a great way to get started, and that'll ease the frequencies into your system. 2 weeks after you get it, you'll get a deep cycle. There's also a coherence program. I'll send the hack about that probably in the next couple of days anyway. And you're all on the list. I mean, it will all be showing up at some point. So you'll get an update. Yeah, Jody.
I got an email about, I guess, the deep whatever to download, and I can't find anywhere to do that.
It should have.
Am I missing something?
No. It should have shown up on your pink app, and it might ask you to update, but it's going to be in your list. It'll be at the bottom of the list on your pink app.
Okay, I thought I looked everywhere, but I'll look again.
And actually, it's in your blue app too. Go ahead, Jane.
Yeah, try going in the pink app. When you get the menu, you got the menu. Scroll right down
programs
and go to settings, and tap on settings, and then you should see check for updates. So you can, I'll
try that. Yeah, I felt like I kind of poked at everything, but maybe I missed that. Okay.
Well, let us know if you don't.
Okay.
Are you doing that right now?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
So give that a go, and then
it's not like I need anything new to run right now, so I figured I'd figure it out at some point.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, but because the deep cycle is really, really profound. They're fabulous, and they are part of the 5-week program.
Oh.
And those are really, really deep conditioning for the cells. So it's like they're cleaning out your kidneys, it's cleaning out your lungs. It's quite a yeah, I would say deep conditioning is the best word to describe.
Okay, so I'll be needing that then.
Yeah, definitely.
You'll want it. And when this is in the pink app, it's down towards the bottom of the list when it gets added in there.
And it says
Deep cycle.
Deep cycle. Oh, but that's after it gets added in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions?
So Doug, well, how are you doing? How are you enjoying your Healy so far?
Good. I overdid it the first night. I texted Gwen the next day and said I had some wild dreams, and I'm not one to remember my dreams, so it was a fun evening. But I've since leveled out, so to speak.
Fabulous. And what's your goal for this? Was it just technology that got you excited, or?
I like that it's the tangible. So often what we sell to our clients is something that's not necessarily tangible or something that they can see or feel. So this provides, I think, a little bit of that in with the work that we already do. So I'm excited to order the resins and get started with it.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it is the bridge. It's the bridge between science and spirituality, and it, and the vision that Healy have for the future. It's going to get just more and more exciting. So you're in at the beginning of a fantastic ride that we're going on.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Great.
Thanks for all the great information tonight.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right. Does that feel complete? Or Gwen, you're unmuted. Did you have something?
Well, I was just going to say that Doug will eventually probably be my technology support.
Oh,
because,
perfect.
I I get lost after a while, but I can bring him in and then he might have to support me eventually. So get on board, Doug. Come on.
I'll be right on that, Glenn, whatever you say.
Fabulous. So yes,
All right.
if people want support with the Fast Start Challenge, you know, that opportunity, just let us know, because we can get straight on with just holding a webinar for you, or helping you to let your friends know.
Right. I agree.
Cool.
All right.
Hi, Dorian.
And Tim, we know we can't see you, but you're doing all right. What do you have, a takeaway, an aha question? All right, I don't know if I can ask you to.
Tim.
If you go, and then Jerry's asking about settings. So if you go to settings, it's in the middle of the in your app. Says iCloud, I think, yeah. In your app, not the phone.
Okay.
All right, I think we're going to wrap it up and call it good. Jerry, I hope you just get there, but everybody else, thank you for coming, and we'll keep you posted about more things. Feel free to come on Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. Central. Let me know. I'll be sending the Zoom link out. And by the way, Jane, we're on a time change tonight, so we're off. Jane, we're off, and then yours comes in a couple of weeks, so we're different.
That's right.
So
Are you going forwards?
we are.
Wow, I didn't know that was now.
Oh, that's tonight.
Wow.
Not for
Yeah.
Doriana though. Don't change
Nope.
the clock, Doriana, but everything for you will be different now.
But everything else, so tell me, how does that affect when things are coming from Europe? Because this, when you say 7 o'clock Central Time, that's taken off. They put it in CET time, which is Central European time, and they haven't changed yet. But they're an hour ahead of Greenwich Mean Time.
Yeah.
So did you figure all that out, Aliza?
Yeah, here's how I figured it out. I used my Google Calendar and I put in 7 p.m. UK, and then it tells me what time it's going to be for me.
So is it 7 p.m. UK or 7 p.m. Central European time?
It's it would be Central European time would be 6 p.m. Is there an hour ahead of us?
Right.
No, it would be 8. It would
Well,
be 8 p.m.
no.
in Central European time. Is that what you're saying?
They're sooner than us, so their 6 o'clock in the evening is.
No, that's backward. I think they're an hour ahead because
Yeah,
I think you're an hour behind them.
we are. Yeah.
Yes.
What we're talking
And so those times, I believe, are given in CET.
they are.
Well,
And
not
it's-
Deborah's.
is it
You have
7
to
o'clock?
look. You just have to look. The world ones are done in CET. Deborah uses UK. You just have to pay attention.
No, I know that. But when they say it's 7 o'clock Central European time, then
Sorry, Doriana. Yes, then if it's 7 o'clock Central, it's 6 o'clock in the UK.
correct.
That's it. Yeah,
And those times, 7 o'clock is given Central European time, right?
it is.
And since we spring ahead, forward, mostly in the US, so like Central Time is probably 6 hours behind UK time. Is that right, Aliza?
Well, it's changing right now. Because US is changing and UK is not.
Correct. So are you 5 hours then differ from UK time?
Normally,
Since when you change,
No,
like tomorrow?
I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
Yeah, so tomorrow until UK changes, tomorrow US changes, UK doesn't change for 2 weeks. So then it's 5 hours between me and Jane.
Right. So then now you're 6 hours from CET time tomorrow. You'll be 6 hours behind CET time, right?
I can't track it like that. So I
Yeah.
think so, but I can't track it like that.
Well, you will be 5 hours behind UK time tomorrow, right?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
a minute.
And so then you'll be 6 hours behind CET time.
Okay.
And so if it's 7:00 PM CET time, then it'll be 1 PM your time. Is that right?
No.
So you
Yes.
think it's,
Yes. I don't know. It depends on which meeting. I mean, I get that you get it, but I don't get it. So our Tuesday call is at 7 PM Central US time.
Central
Our 7
US time or Central
call
time?
that I'm talking
Check that
about.
out because sometimes it says CET, which is
I know,
not
but I'm
Central
not,
US time. Okay.
right, but I'm not talking about, I mean, the meeting that I'm just scheduling for Tuesday is Central US time.
Okay, and which meeting is that? Yours?
Yes,
Is
mine.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
mine.
It's not the one that's,
No,
because there is a Tuesday meeting where
Yeah.
they're going to talk
Yes.
about the trail.
yes.
Oh,
This
there
isn't
is
the
a-
one,
Yeah, there's a
Yes.
Tuesday meeting about the coil, and that's at 6.
UK time, right?
I've got it on my, yeah. I saved it especially. Healy coil webinar is at 6 PM CET.
CET time. So then it's 5 UK time.
Yes.
And then it'll be 5 hours less than that for Central time and 6 hours less for Mountain time, but 7 hours because I'm switching to Pacific time difference for me. So if it's at 7, I guess it's at noon my time. No, yeah. So see, it's even more confusing for me because I don't change, but I do switch from Mountain time to Pacific time. I go backward kind of in relationship to everybody else. So since I don't change, then I have to change my mind about everything. So I know it gets confusing. So sometimes they're going to change everything. So anyway, I just wanted to check and see if Aliza had figured that out yet, but okay.
And I'll tell you, Dorian, I'll just repeat it. All I do is I put it in my Google Calendar and I'll put it CET time or UK time, and I don't do the math in my head anymore.
And then it
because
tells you when it is, right?
especially
Okay.
this time of year when like Australia changes a different time and UK changes a different time and somebody else
Yep.
changes a different time. I mean, there's like,
Yep.
we're in rotating times for the next month. Yeah.
But Europe's staying the same for a bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, like I think 2 more weeks.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay, well, thanks for the
Okay.
info.
All right.